Hi everybody, thank you for joining me again today. I just want to share with you that I'm well aware of the sound issues, but I'm yet to find a proper microphone, and the little piece of cheap rubbish I found among my other rubbish makes me sound like I'm talking through a 1920s, 1930s old radio. Unfortunately, it's that or nothing, because right now my usual routine is non-existent. The work on the house has come to a halt until end of January next year, and Dragonman is on holiday, but unfortunately my mother's now on oxygen, no longer really eating and in and out of consciousness. My brother's taking it very hard, and I still have not had my vehicle fixed. No parts yet, and the only people so far with a quote is so expensive that I can very well pay that amount, if I had it, off on a newer vehicle. Anyway, my dears, if I sound a bit snotty or like I'm in a tunnel under the ocean, please forgive me. All good and bad things come and go, and this too will pass. And like always, I shall sort my sound out eventually. Judging by the number of cheap microphones I had up until now, I could by now have bought a proper one, and maybe one which could clamp to my desk, because two of my old microphones died horrible deaths because I knocked it off the desk once too often. Okay, bookworm, shut up and talk royals. Okay, I want to, for now, just continue a little on yesterday's video, and first and foremost, for those who did not listen properly, I know the property in Millionaires Row in New York City was actually bought for the Canadian Consul General. But my actual point was that if TMZ is correct and Harry does stay over there, then it is my opinion that he shouldn't, because that means he is being accommodated and protected on Canadian tax money. And why should he be? But like I also said, my informant believes that the king himself owns a property or two in New York City, and Harry could very well be staying in one of those, for all we know. What I do know for a fact is that Harry is not staying in a hotel every time or each time he is in New York City. Him and Meghan did stay in a hotel once, but remember when they had the devastating, life-threatening, high-speed car chase in New York City? Remember that? Well, they themselves said they were staying in a friend's apartment. Well, so far no one admitted to being that friend ever. Anyway, I had a continued discussion with someone on more or less the same subject, and the hilarious back and forth currently going on. It is ridiculously laughable, really. Christmas is around the corner, so just like last year and the year before, and if I remember correctly, the year before that, we have to pretend that we are being entertained by stories of Harry and Meghan not being invited by the royal family for Christmas, in particular by King Charles himself. What a load of poppycock. I wanted to actually say something else, but poppycock is so much nicer. I mean, riddle me this. Why would the royal family invite the Harkles? Number one, if they can't trust them not to sell every detail and more to the highest bidder. Or number two, why invite them if they won't come anyway? I mean, it's ridiculous. There are 101 reasons why they wouldn't and shouldn't be invited, or should I say, couldn't be invited. I mean, you take your pick. But just like there is again, like 10 million times before, this element of will they or won't they? If the earth should suddenly spin and eject the Harkles into outer space, this will they, won't they crap is the number one thing I will not miss. That is a promise. It is nothing more than attention-seeking, childish nonsense. Anyway, we have more important nonsense to talk about. Anyway, back to my back and forth discussion with the friend. And honestly, I really do not care who believes me or who believes her or not. It does not matter. A portion of the truth will come out via social media, and eventually mainstream media will catch on, likely through the more woke or liberal rags like The Guardian, who, regardless of anything, still actually do investigative journalism from time to time. Anyway, here's the nitty-gritty. The royals, particularly Charles's office, have been using the media or manipulating the media for many, many years, and it did not take Diana too long to learn the exact same tricks. And it would be a complete and utter lie to say that the Queen's office never used the media. Maybe to a lesser extent than Charles's office, but courtiers from the two offices often used the media to wage a propaganda war against each other, or to get their way, or to send messages and warnings to each other. I think the royals, and Charles in particular, are the original kings and queens of the media wars. And that, my dears, is a fact and absolutely no secret. We also know that Charles used the media to grow Camilla's acceptability and popularity. We also know that Camilla was given a PR person specifically to advise her, and who also fed the media with everything good and killed each and every negative story. Now these, my dears, are facts and no secrets whatsoever. So if you're interested, really interested, a little sensitive, and have the actual time, you will pick up that certain journalists, particularly those on the royal beat or royal rota, have changed their tune about or towards Harry quite significantly recently. Now, I can go ahead and name names, but I do not wish to influence you at all. I want you to make up your own mind. All I can say to you is watch who leaks what, who gets the so-called scoop. That should give you a hint. You see, I agree with my friend. The more you listen or read certain journalists, the more you pick up that there seems to be a new trend. For example, Sophie has become one of the hardest working royals over the past few years. She has become far more visible, and her popularity, I'm sure, have doubled, if not tripled, over the last 3 to 4 years. So what do these chosen journalists do? They go and compare Sophie's early years as a member of the royal family with what Harry and Meghan are doing, almost as if trying to say, "Oh, but she did the same thing, and look how she turned out," kind of thing. But, like my friend says, in this particular spin or narrative, they are completely forgetting the racism allegations, the lies, the mocking, and all the other BS Harry and Meghan heaped on the royal family and in particular on the Queen. So, it is our opinion that certain journalists are outright instructed or manipulated to do someone's bidding. But I don't want to say I think or we think, because it is a little more than what we think. You know, sometimes it is hard to say something in such a way that it does not come across as a direct accusation. But let me try again. There is a narrative specifically designed to produce a specific outcome. And the outcome they want is not what we have been thinking. These stories spun by certain royal reporters are, well, I'm going to call it the Trojan horse, the double blind for what is actually really going on. You see, for example, after my video of yesterday, of course, there are people who are saying it is all BS. Charles has washed his hands off Harry and Meghan. And he not only cut them off financially, but also emotionally. Blah, blah, bloody blah. You see, I told you, Charles may be many things, but he is not, number one, a racist, and he is definitely not an idiot. Maybe he is devious, entitled, but an idiot, no, 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 no. When it comes to manipulation, getting his way, Charlie Boy is one of the sharpest tools in the shed. He is a manipulator of note, an expert, one of the greatest. Now, when I sing the man's praises like that, you must know there's something coming. I'm just saying because I'm actually putting off what I came here to say. You see, King Charles knows. Oh boy, does he know exactly what the repercussions will be for him, the monarchy and the family, if he should bring Harry back. And he knows it will be even worse if he ever allows Meghan Markle back in. And frankly, he himself is not too fond of their show stealing and other stealings either. Wink, wink. But he also knows that he could use the situation for his own benefit. So the solution is to give Harry what he wanted and to give the rest of the family and the public what they want. So, how does he and his courtiers do that? Well, by painting a picture, a very realistic one, of poor, hapless Harry, who is not royal anymore because he's never seen with or interacting with the senior royals. And we can't even argue it and say that he is royal because he does not live or even stay over in any of the palaces, etc., etc. Oh, and unlike his father and brother, he's never seen with 20 uniformed officers around him. Excuse my sudden cough. But wake up, my friends, open your eyes, look deeper, look a little below the surface, or to the background of certain pictures. Now, do you sincerely think it is a coincidence that there is a link to the Archroll website on the Royal website, a direct link to a semi-fake charity? Do you think it is coincidence that Harry's bodyguards are Royal Protection Officers, supposedly ex-Royal Protection Officers? And another one, mostly the one who's on Meghan's tail, is an ex-Obama bodyguard. Now, if you think it is all coincidence, then maybe, just maybe, just consider that you may be mistaken. As JJ says, the best example of how much the King is censoring the media in the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth was when he blocked the disclosure of the racism allegations from Omid Scobie's Dutch version of his book. That didn't quite sound right, but you know what I mean. It took Piers Morgan to actually go and do his job to get the news into the United Kingdom. And like Piers said, true or false? Well, we know it was false, but like Piers said, it is up to the people of the United Kingdom to make up their minds. And why should the Dutch be privy to the lie, but not the British people? Aren't the British people who are actually paying the monarchy not allowed to know what is being said about the monarchy or the royal family? I mean, it's totally ridiculous. However, this is the perfect example of the King and his officers' reach, and like his son, his wish to control and for censorship. Now, okay, guys, I'm sorry. I wish I could carry on and on talking, but my time is up and my life, with all its good and bad, awaits. When I come back, I'll talk with you about the invisible children. So until then, remember, look left and right before crossing the road. And stay sober if you can, and stay safe. And if you're not sober, well, then cool. But then stay at home and have your fun at home. Please take care of yourselves, because I love you and I appreciate you. Bye.